Every year, millions of tons of waste find their way into our oceans. Once celebrated as symbols of life and beauty, our seas are now facing unprecedented threats. From floating plastic bottles to devastating oil spills, ocean pollution is quickly becoming one of the most pressing environmental issues on our planet. But just how serious is this problem? In this video, we'll explore the facts, uncover the sources, and reveal the impact of ocean pollution on marine life and humans alike. Let's dive in and discover what's really happening beneath the waves. Ocean pollution occurs when harmful substances enter our seas and oceans, disrupting delicate ecosystems. These pollutants range from plastics and chemicals to sewage, oil, and even noise from ships. While it might seem like most pollution comes from ships or offshore activities, the truth is that the majority originates from human actions on land. Everyday items and waste can travel long distances, eventually ending up in the ocean and causing harm to marine environment. Do you know that around 8 million tons of plastic enter the ocean every single year? From plastic bags and bottles to discarded fishing nets, plastic waste is found in almost every corner of the ocean. Even the deepest ocean trenches aren't spared. Scientists have discovered plastic debris thousands of meters below the surface. This widespread pollution poses a persistent threat to marine life and the health of our ocean. Ocean pollution isn't just an eyesore, it's a deadly hazard for marine animals. Sea turtles often mistake floating plastic bags for jellyfish, swallowing them by accident. Birds and fish consume tiny plastic particles, mistaking them for food. Abandoned fishing nets, known as ghost nets, entangle countless creatures, leading to injury or even death. The suffering of marine animals is a stark reminder of the real cost of pollution. Microplastics are tiny fragments of plastic, smaller than 5 millimeters, that have invaded our oceans. These minuscule particles are now found in seafood, drinking water, and even sea salt. As marine animals ingest microplastics, these particles move up the food chain, eventually reaching our plates. Scientists are still studying the long-term effects of microplastics on human health, but their presence in our food is a growing concern. Oil spills are among the most dramatic forms of ocean pollution. When oil coats marine animals, it can suffocate them or destroy their ability to stay warm. Oil also blankets habitats, blocks sunlight, and reduces oxygen in the water. Some ecosystems take decades to recover from a major spill, highlighting the long-lasting damage that oil pollution can cause to the ocean's delicate balance. Coral reefs are vibrant underwater ecosystems, but pollution is pushing them to the brink. Chemicals and waste in the water weaken corals, making it harder for them to survive. As coral reefs decline, so do the fish and other marine life that depend on them. Healthy reefs are vital. They protect coastlines from storms and support a rich diversity of marine species. Surprisingly, nearly 80% of ocean pollution starts on land. Trash from our streets, factories, and farms often finds its way into rivers, which then carry it to the sea. Everyday actions like littering or improper waste disposal can have far-reaching consequences for the ocean. Understanding this connection is key to tackling the root causes of ocean pollution. Once waste leaves our hands, it often travels a long journey before reaching the ocean. Rain washes litter from streets into storm drains, which flow into rivers and streams. Along the way, trash can break down into smaller pieces, making it even harder to clean up. By the time it reaches the sea, it's already causing harm to wildlife and water quality. One of the biggest problems with plastic is how long it lasts. Unlike organic materials, plastic doesn't biodegrade easily. Instead, it breaks into smaller and smaller pieces, persisting in the environment for hundreds of years. This means that every piece of plastic ever made still exists somewhere, often in our oceans. In the Pacific Ocean, currents have created a massive floating collection of plastic and debris known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This area is estimated to be twice the size of Texas and contains millions of pieces of plastic. The patch is a stark example of how ocean currents can concentrate pollution in certain areas, creating long-term environmental challenges. Microplastics are so small that they're often invisible to the naked eye. They come from larger plastics breaking down, as well as from products like synthetic clothing and personal care items. These tiny particles are now found everywhere, from the surface of the ocean to the deepest trenches, posing a hidden threat to marine life and humans. Many marine animals can't tell the difference between plastic and their natural food. Sea turtles, for example, often eat plastic bags thinking they're jellyfish. Birds and fish consume small plastic fragments, which can fill their stomachs and make them feel full, leading to starvation. This confusion is one of the main reasons plastic pollution is so deadly. Abandoned fishing nets, often called ghost nets, drift through the ocean, trapping anything in their path. These nets can entangle fish, turtles, dolphins, and even whales. Because they're made of durable plastic, ghost nets can continue catching and killing marine life for years after being lost or discarded. When small fish eat microplastics, those plastics don't just disappear, they move up the food chain. Larger fish eat the smaller ones, and eventually humans eat the fish. This means that the plastic pollution we create can end up back on our plates, raising concerns about food safety and health. Scientists are still learning about the health effects of microplastics on humans. Early studies suggest that these tiny particles can carry harmful chemicals and may cause inflammation or other health problems. As microplastics become more common in our food and water, understanding their impact is more important than ever. Oil spills happen when oil is accidentally released into the ocean, often from ships or drilling accidents. The oil spreads quickly, forming a slick that coats everything it touches. Marine animals, birds, and plants are all affected, and cleaning up an oil spill is a difficult and expensive process. The effects of an oil spill can last for decades. Oil can sink to the ocean floor, smothering habitats and poisoning marine life. Some species never fully recover, and entire ecosystems can be changed forever. This long-term damage shows why preventing oil spills is so important. Coral reefs are often called the rainforests of the sea because of their incredible biodiversity. They provide shelter and food for countless marine species. But pollution, especially from chemicals and waste, weakens corals and makes them more vulnerable to disease and bleaching. Protecting reefs is essential for a healthy ocean. Many everyday chemicals like fertilizers and pesticides end up in the ocean through runoff. These substances can poison coral reefs and disrupt the balance of marine ecosystems. Even small amounts of pollution can have big impacts, making it harder for corals to grow and survive. Healthy coral reefs act as natural barriers protecting coastlines from storms and erosion. When reefs are damaged by pollution, coastal communities become more vulnerable to flooding and storm damage. This is just one more reason why keeping our oceans clean is so important. Most ocean pollution starts far from the sea. Factories, farms, and cities all contribute waste that eventually ends up in rivers and, finally, the ocean. By understanding these sources, we can take steps to reduce pollution before it ever reaches the water. When it rains, water flows over streets, picking up trash, oil, and chemicals. This stormwater runoff carries pollution into drains, rivers, and eventually the ocean. Managing runoff is an important part of protecting our seas. Sewage and untreated wastewater are major sources of ocean pollution. When these substances enter the sea, they can spread disease and reduce oxygen levels, harming fish and other marine life. Proper treatment and disposal are essential for keeping our oceans healthy. Farms use fertilizers and pesticides to grow crops, but these chemicals often wash into rivers and streams. Once in the ocean, they can cause harmful algal blooms and dead zones where little or no life can survive. Reducing agricultural runoff is a key step in fighting ocean pollution. Cities generate huge amounts of waste, much of which ends up in the ocean. Litter from streets, parks, and public spaces can be blown or washed into waterways. Urban waste is a major contributor to the growing problem of ocean pollution. Factories and industrial plants often release chemicals and heavy metals into rivers, which eventually flow into the ocean. These pollutants can be toxic to marine life and accumulate in the food chain, posing risks to both animals and humans. Not all pollution is visible. Noise from ships, drilling, and underwater construction can disrupt marine animals, especially those that rely on sound to communicate or navigate. Noise pollution is an often overlooked threat to ocean health. The global shipping industry is a major source of marine debris. Lost cargo, discarded packaging, and even entire shipping containers can end up in the ocean. These large items break down over time, adding to the growing problem of plastic pollution. Tourism brings people to beautiful beaches and coastal areas, but it can also increase pollution. Litter, sunscreen chemicals, and boat traffic all contribute to the problem. Sustainable tourism practices are needed to protect our oceans for future generations. Climate change and ocean pollution are closely linked. Rising temperatures can make pollution problems worse, while pollution can weaken the ocean's ability to absorb carbon dioxide. Addressing both issues together is crucial for a healthy planet. One way to reduce ocean pollution is to use alternatives to plastic. Biodegradable materials, reusable bags, and refillable bottles can all help cut down on waste. Making small changes in our daily lives can have a big impact on the health of our oceans. Proper recycling and waste management are essential for keeping plastic and other pollutants out of the ocean. Sorting waste, recycling plastics, and supporting community cleanup efforts all make a difference. Together, we can reduce the amount of trash entering our seas. Many organizations and volunteers work tirelessly to clean up beaches and oceans. These efforts remove tons of trash and raise awareness about pollution. Supporting these initiatives is a practical way to help protect marine environments. New technologies are being developed to tackle ocean pollution. From floating barriers that collect plastic to drones that monitor water quality, innovation is helping us find better ways to protect our seas. Investing in research and technology is key to long-term solutions. Educating people about ocean pollution is one of the most effective ways to inspire change. Schools, media, and community programs can all help spread the word. When more people understand the problem, they're more likely to take action. Governments play a crucial role in reducing ocean pollution. Laws that limit plastic use, regulate waste disposal, and protect marine areas can make a big difference. Strong policies and enforcement are needed to safeguard our oceans. Ocean pollution is a global problem that requires international cooperation. Countries must work together to share knowledge, set standards, and enforce regulations. Only by joining forces can we hope to solve this worldwide crisis. Protecting marine animals and their habitats is essential for a healthy ocean. Marine protected areas, fishing regulations, and habitat restoration projects all help safeguard biodiversity. Every effort counts when it comes to preserving life in the sea. Single-use plastics like straws, cutlery, and packaging are a major source of ocean pollution. By choosing reusable alternatives, we can significantly cut down on waste. Every small change helps reduce the burden on our oceans. Businesses and manufacturers have a responsibility to reduce pollution. By designing products with less packaging, using sustainable materials, and supporting recycling, companies can help protect the ocean. Corporate action is a vital part of the solution. Every person can make a difference by making environmentally friendly choices. Reducing waste, recycling, and supporting cleanup efforts all help protect the ocean. Our daily habits add up to a big impact over time. Communities around the world are coming together to fight ocean pollution. Local cleanups, educational events, and advocacy campaigns all play a role. When people work together, they can achieve amazing results for the environment. Despite the challenges, there is hope for our oceans. New technologies, growing awareness, and global cooperation are making a difference. By working together, we can restore the health and beauty of our seas for generations to come. Ocean pollution is a serious problem, but it's not too late to act. By understanding the facts, making better choices, and supporting efforts to clean up and protect our seas, we can all play a part in preserving the ocean's wonders. Together, we can ensure a cleaner, healthier ocean for everyone.